This is what happens when your grass grows a lot. Your cup needs some maintenance. So today we are going to cut some of the grass that's in the way. No, right in here on the inside of the cup. See it? So we're just going to trim all this away. Well, and then down in here, can I move your finger? Got some. So this as well is a really nice spot for germination. So you can see that. Germinated too, so we're just going to trim down along the edge of the cup. Make this nice and clean. Did a really good job there. So that when you golf, hold on. More germination. There we go. So when you golf, you generally have a clean cup to roll into. Now this is also super long here, so we are going to take this and trim it down, just like that. Yep.
Go.
Next step is to go trim the other cup up. Totally different. So the next thing that we're gonna do, go trim up the other hole. Our other hole is right over here, and it's been popular, if you're a kid in the neighborhood, to fill it with sand. I think that's good enough. Do you think we can cut the grass away now?
Yes.
Okay. Cutting a lot of this back at an angle because it's going to grow over the top of this, and also when I come along with the reel mower, it tends to kind of press that grass towards the center. So if it's trimmed back at an angle, we're going to get a much cleaner cup. You got to quit cutting the dirt. This may seem like work to some people. This isn't work, is it, Jackson? This is fun. Yep.
Can I cut this?
Can I cut some of it? Yeah. Is that better? Here, I will take some of this. You ready? I'm gonna pull it back. So I'm gonna tip some of this back. Now can you cut it? See these long ones? Just fluff some of that up. So you can look at that. We got a much cleaner cup now. Now this area originally was not, it did not come in nearly as well as the other stuff. We haven't top dressed it with sand, haven't rolled it, haven't done anything. But you can see like this has come in beautifully, and you can take it right down. There's one bare spot over here which is coming in. Just over. Don't cut the grass there, it's fine. So it's coming. And then at some point it'll be ready to go. And there we go. Excited about it. It was a fun day, isn't it, Jackson? Okay, the grass is already at a ½ inch in the place in question. So I'm gonna take it down even lower. Part of the reason I'm gonna take it lower is I wanna be able to hit golf balls in two directions. So right now, over here I've got a tee, or not a tee, I have a pin, green, if you will. And right here, we also have a cup. And what I like here is I want to be able to like hit from over here and place into here and roll back down to this and have this essentially be a hazard. Literally like a sand trap. Also, I don't know if you can see it on film. This is pretty thick stuff when you get down to it. And I'd like to put some sand in here and level it out. It's kind of bumpy. Finally, you can see Those tracks are starting to fill in. I want to push a little bit more fertilizer over there where I didn't push anything the other day. So we're going to put this on the time lapse and mow it up. Well, that certainly gives things a different look. Gives me another green to mess with without, top dressing the entire yard. But I've got my sand right here, and if I'm playing in from this direction, this here is going to play differently because the neighbor's lawn is right here. It's a little bit longer. You've got an even longer lie over here, which is nothing. That's a complete rough. But as I play in from this direction, this hazard, toys aside, comes into play a little bit more than it would if I'm playing, say, over there. But it also allows me, if I've got 6 holes out there, to get a different look from a green each time, and they're gonna putt differently. That one, we've got a slope right to left, and that's pretty much it. They both need to be rolled. I need to get myself a Toro Greensmaster to take it way down. But right now at a 1/2 inch, you can putt on them, and it is what it is. But it's just a fun little hobby thing. So again, it's literally just, this is a hobby. This is just for fun. So I'm not too stressed about the fact that the greens are bumpy and don't roll quite as nicely. But what'll happen is, as I shovel a little bit of this off, and I'm gonna have to shovel a ton of this sand off, it'll smooth some of that out. What helped over there was putting down a little bit of peat moss to help with moisture retention and all of it. The confusing thing to me is why peat moss starts off hydrophobic and then eventually helps with moisture retention. That's what the yard looks like. Can't tell a huge difference. It's mainly because the grass in the backyard is growing really, really well right now. We've got super, super perfect weather. Highs in the low 70s to low 80s, with lows at night getting down into the 40s, 50s, 40s. So that is like prime zone for cool season grass. And you can see there's still a little bit of drought stress. Neighbors don't irrigate their lawn like we irrigate ours. They do every now and then to keep it from being too crunchy. But the difference here, I think, in the uniformity, which especially what you see on the camera, is the difference between the coloration in the rye and the Kentucky bluegrass. It's not as pronounced when you're looking at it with the naked eye, but when you go out here and you kind of look at it on camera, what are those dark green spots? Well, it's not like we've got a ton of Poa annua in here. It is literally only that the rye is super, super dark green. That looks great. And look at that. Stripes up nicely, and this little thing just bounces around and doesn't have hardly any weight on it. If you were to come out here with a Greensmaster 3000 and mow it at the height that I'm mowing it at, a 1/2 inch, I mean, you would be blown away, I think, at how it would stripe. So if we get right down here, I keep telling you that this is thick. That's maybe a way to gauge that. Get down in here and kind of look at the turf. There are some spots where if you get right down into it, you could dig in there and find yourself a hole. Stuff is gonna fill in, that's gonna tiller. It's gonna look good. But right now, I tell you what, walking on this, it's just like walking on a golf course. And that for me is something that ever since I was a kid, I have always wanted a lawn that was like a golf course. So now I've got that and couldn't be more excited. Complete with 2 different holes. Hope you guys are having a great day. See you in the next one. Okay, just spread a little bit of fertilizer on this. Not because it maybe needs it, but because I've cut a bunch of top growth off. I did hit this with some fertilizer. I didn't put any of that on there before. One of the other things that I've been thinking about is I want to put a sunshade up here, both on the west end and then just at an angle, not to match the pitch of the roof, but I think I'm going to put some 6x6s. Each one of these corners, notch it out, sister it to that 4x4 that's right there, so that then it's got resistance from the railing that way, resistance from the railing that way, similar over on that side, and then cable back to the house, straight back. So we'd have cabling that way, so it would pull it all back to the house and against the deck. I don't know if that's going to work, but that's also on the plan. So just be aware of that. Okay, so now I'm going to also go on here and top dress this with a little bit of sand, just out of our sandbox here. Probably need to go get myself another 2 or 3 yards of it. I had them dump it right out here. I just scooped it off, which I don't know why. Maybe it was in their way. There's nothing else going on out there, but maybe I'll go get myself another 2 or 3 yards of sand, and I'd get a finer sand this time. The particulate in this one is a little bit heavier. For this, I think I want a finer application, but let's get her spread on there. Okay, well there you've got a good view of it, and now you can actually see where the canopy had spread. That sand has settled down in there. So just trying to encourage that grass to come back and fill in those spots. Got a little bit of fertilizer on there. And what I need to do is I need to go through and I don't know if I need to aerate this, but I think just probably overseed it again. And I've been overseeding it with rye, but like for example, these spots right here, I could just come in and prep those, till that all up and overseed that. That would fill in really, really quick. So I probably need to get another order of rye in. You got like holes here, some thin spots here. I really have been waiting for, what's confusing to me here on this green is that this turf is not spread more. You can see we're starting to get some germination in here now. But it hasn't just filled straight across. This one is starting to come across. I can see some rhizomes coming across in here, but it's taken a while to fill that in. I don't know if that's because of the low height of the actual turf. I had some holes over here that have taken a while to fill in, and they're slowly moving laterally. I mean, if you're impatient, Kentucky bluegrass is not the grass for you. Which part of me, that's why I'm trying to put down some of this rye. I don't know if you remember what this border along the garden looked like earlier, but man, it looks nice. Really, really nice. Got some jalapenos. Peppers are looking okay here. Just an absolute... I see a little virus coming in this guy here. See that in those leaves down there? That's a little bit of virus. And it comes from like whenever it rains, it splashes off of the ground, carries that virus up from the ground onto the leaf tissue, and then you start to get problems. But same thing that's happening over here. This guy dying back. But I'm not stressed about it. This is not a primary source of food. A big bulb of garlic down there. See him? He looks fine. A trillion tomatoes on this plant. Looks like it's got a little virus on it too, but we're gonna get stuff off of it before. Now the interesting thing is all of these seeds that are coming off of the seed heads here, those will just drop and naturally seed this whole line again. So the question is, how will this look? You know, next year will it seed a little bit earlier? I'm still confused by these. I don't know if I don't know if these were not jumping jacks and I got a different type of marigold. I swore they were the jumping jack marigolds that I brought here, which a jumping jack gets, you know, up 4 or 5 feet. Those are a normal kind of a dwarf marigold, I guess. But again, tons and tons of seed heads on there. I'm gonna go and harvest a bunch of those. Got the grill rolling right around 500. Got a little something special in there tonight. Ooh, wood-fired pizza on the grill for the win.